All right. Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Obviously, we'll talk quickly about last week's game before we talk about moving forward. I thought the guys did a really good job coming out of the second half. Just responding to the challenge at halftime to play Rattler football. When the rah-rah speech at halftime, didn't have to chew any butt. Just basically said, football and in life, the great thing about it is every day you get another opportunity. And we had another half of football to play, so that was a great opportunity for us to play our brand of football, and we were able to come out and do that. And offensively, really got into a rhythm. Jeremy settled down, made some great throws, great decisions. The receiving core really lived up to the Rack Boys 2.0 moniker and made a ton of plays out there. Jamari Reed and Xavier Smith both had huge games. Zay Smith with 3 touchdowns, K-Dot with 137 yards receiving on 7 catches, and able to basically shut them out the second half until a late touchdown against the backup. So really good to see the guys play that level of ball because we've been capable of it all season. We just haven't been able to put it together. So still some things to clean up. Obviously, we'll work on that this week, but very excited about the win. Extends our home winning streak now to 12 games and gives us some momentum heading to another conference game against a tough Mississippi Valley team. And obviously, we're all monitoring this storm and what the projections are early in the week, so it's hard to tell. We will have a plan, but as of right now, it's all systems go in preparation for Mississippi Valley.
Coach, I'll just ask that right off the rip because you just mentioned it. But the storm, what goes into that? When will you make that decision? And like you said, it's pretty much business as normal until you guys make that decision.
Yeah, our campus partners have been on multiple calls. We had a head coach's call yesterday with the administration, the response team, and a crisis management team. So just the more information we get, obviously, the better we can prepare. It's still very early in the process. We're probably looking at 4 or 5 days before impact, possibly. And so it's a little bit tough to make definitive plans on that, but we have a plan A, a plan B, even a plan C as far as business as usual. Thinking the storm may hit sooner and get out of here. A possibility of moving the date of the game, much like we did in 2019, to play it on a Sunday. And then worst case scenario, even the possibility of moving the site of the game, which will obviously be, I think, a last resort or cancellation of the game if it got just that bad. So, but all those options are on the table. They've all been talked about, and we'll know more as the week progresses and as the storm gets closer and closer to Florida. But it's hurricane season in Florida, so this is something that we obviously prepare for every year.
Coach, good morning. Can you talk a little bit about the kind of challenge when you face these teams that haven't won for the season? They're winless. What kind of challenge that presents for you and your staff just preparing for these teams? Obviously, they're good teams. So how do you prepare for them?
Well, I think whenever you are a part of a mid-major on FCS conference, typically early in the season, a lot of teams have sub 500 records. Most of us play our guarantee games the first half of the season. In some cases, you may have a conference opponent, which in our case we did the second game of the season, and so I think it can be very misleading when you look at a team's record 4 weeks in. And so you look at the teams that Mississippi Valley have played; they're all teams with winning records. Austin Peay's ranked in the FCS top 25. Jackson State's ranked in the FCS top 25. Delta State's always a very strong Division II football program. And so, again, it can be misleading when you look and say, okay, well, they're winless. Much like Alabama A&M last week. They played UAB, they played Troy, and they played a ranked Austin Peay football team. So when you've been around the leagues like this as long as I have, you learn to not put much weight into a record. You trust your eyes. We watch the film, we see how they play on film. We see the schemes that they employ, and we try to get a good idea of what their personnel looks like. And so we use that more as a barometer to determine the quality of the team as opposed to the record. I think we're much better than a 2-2 football team right now, but that's what our record states. And so, that's beginning of the season football. And as we all know, in October and November, those records tend to take shape, and the elite teams tend to rise to the top. But right now, you have to treat everyone, as if we're all, 0-1, 1-1, whatever the case may be, because right now that's what we are in conference play.
Coach, third straight home game. I mean, the how necessary was it? And you talked a little bit about it last week, just how this year started for you guys, just a lot of stuff going on outside of football. How important has it been to have kind of that schedule this year that has kept you guys in Tallahassee for 3 weeks?
Well, I think the way the schedule's fallen has really helped our team, and we've taken advantage of it. 2 tough road games right off the bat. Going up to Chapel Hill and playing a Power 5 opponent, and then turning around and facing the Jackson State team that's right now ranked in the FCS top 10, and that with everything that we were facing. And so it felt really good to get back home, to get back in the confines of Bradley Memorial Stadium, get back in our weekly routine, and our guys have responded to that in a major way. And so it's really been good. 3 straight home games for us. Obviously a challenge throughout the nation to come to Tallahassee 3 weekends in a row for those that are traveling. But everyone else, we're excited about this opportunity to play back in Bragg this weekend, regardless of whether it's Saturday or Sunday. We're excited about playing here, and then next time we come here after this will be homecoming. So hopefully everyone's excited about coming out to watch us play, and hopefully this Hurricane Ian doesn't mess up too many travel plans.
Good morning, Coach.
Hey, Jared. Good morning.
I just wanted to know, do you have a status on any of your running backs?
Well, right now, Terrell Jennings and Jay McLeod are full go. AJ Davis we're cautiously optimistic that he'll be able to go. Didn't do much yesterday, but we think with a day off of rest today and getting more treatment to get him out there tomorrow and some individual, and then maybe by Wednesday have him practicing pass, we feel like he'll be able to go. And so optimistic about those 3 guys. DeAndre Francis is probably still out right now. And so definitely as of today, Terrell Jennings and Jay McLeod or 100% full go. AJ Davis is questionable as of today. DeAndre Francis is likely out. And so Cameron Seeger would continue to fill that third role unless AJ Davis is able to make a speedy recovery and be ready to go this week.
Coach, when you
Another question
pop
for
on
you,
the
Coach.
film of Mississippi Valley State, what is it that pops out to you, present some challenge for you this weekend?
Well, one, they're a well-coached team. I think Coach Danzy is probably the most underrated coach, not just in the SWAC, but maybe in all of FCS, to be able to do what they do with the many challenges they face, financially, scholarship limitations, all those things. It is really impressive to see the type of ball they play. They play extremely hard. They play fast. They're physical, and they're optimistic. So if you're right now, the young man is leading the conference in sacks, and so they can pose some problems for us offensively with just their sheer ability to get after the quarterback. And Jeremy has had his moments this season, where he's been a little bit of a roller coaster. When he's on, he's as good as I think anybody. And when he's off, it takes him a while to get going sometimes. So if we can protect him, I think he can get comfortable and make some throws. But they do have some guys that can get out the quarterback and and make plays. And you look at last year's game, we were up 17-0, and then before you blink, we were down 19-17, I believe. So that just shows how hard those guys play. They don't quit. They're from the heart of America, the Delta of Mississippi. So those guys are tough, mentally tough, physically tough, and they're not gonna come down here intimidated. They're gonna come down and give us their best shot.
And Coach, another question from me. I'm not sure if this was touched on. I had to run out for a second, but y'all have the second longest home winning streak in the nation, tied with South Dakota State. Just tell me about that. Proud of playing in Bragg. I mean, haven't lost in Bragg since your first season here. So just tell me about that lengthy winning streak that spans over 4 years.
Well, one of the things we talk about yearly in our beginning of the year meetings with the team is winning all of our games at home. That's one of our team goals. And we've been able to maintain that goal for 2 straight seasons now. And as you alluded to, tied for the second longest streak in the country. And we want to have the longest streak. I told the guys, I grew up in the Miami Hurricanes area where I think they won 55 straight games at home. And we're a long ways away from that, but that's the level of dominance that we want to have here at Bragg. It's a great game day atmosphere. Our fans are loyal, they're raucous, they get behind our guys, and we feed off that, so we want to continue to play at a high level in all 3 phases here at Bragg, and hopefully we can do that. And then once we take care of business in that regard, we obviously have to find a way to win on the road as well, because you don't play all home games. There are ones you play on the road. So just got to be able to figure out a way to do both. But I am proud of the guys, how we fought and responded, and to be able to come back from a 19-7 deficit and not panic in the crowd, still be behind our guys, is inspiring to see.
And then one more question from me, Coach. I'm not sure if this was talked about neither while I was out, but is there any update on the guys that were uncertified? I know many of them may have to sit 4 games, and 4 games have passed on. So do you have any update on those?
Yeah, so we were fortunate to get Eric Horn back last week. Jordan Rico, another transferred linebacker from Alcorn State. We got those guys back last week. This week, as of right now, I know Chris Sanders will be able to play wide receiver for us. And so we're waiting on word from compliance on the rest of the guys. But being that we played 4 games now, I think we should get more of an update as to the guys that were having to serve those 4-game suspensions. And I think we'll get closer and closer to a full roster starting this week.
So, Coach, is that, if my math is correct, and it's probably not, that should be you're waiting on 5 guys now, because it was 8. So if 3 have been cleared, is it 5?
So there's 1, 2. I'm looking at my board now. I'm sorry, Alice.
You're good.
1, 2, 3. It's 5 that we currently have waivers out for that we're waiting on.
Okay.
I feel good that at least one of them will get cleared this week because of the 4 games. The other 4, 2 of them. The other 3 are I'm sorry, are transfers, and their situations are more with transfer credits being counted, with major certification and those type things. So they're not necessarily the 4 games. The 4 games is typically because of an academic mishap, but the other 3 are waiting on rulings based on their transfer status.
So you're confident you'll get those 2 back that had the 4-game suspensions?
I'm optimistic.
Optimistic. There we go. That's a good word. We got it. Thanks, Coach.
Any more questions?
All right, appreciate it, everyone.
All right, thank you guys, and hope to see you this weekend.
Appreciate it, Coach.